Welcome, my fellow Ryan Goslings. It is June, and you know what that means? Men's Mental Health Month. It's very important to recognize this month because men face a lot of pressure when it comes to their loneliness, such as the messages from society to not talk about these issues and the dismissal of their pain. I want to shine a light on the issue through the lens of analyzing a character that experiences it. I do this because through characters, especially ones we play as in video games, we can connect with and understand people that are not exactly like us. Now, let's examine the male loneliness epidemic through its portrayal in Persona 3, specifically its main character, Makoto Yuki. Makoto Yuki is a silent protagonist, so to characterize him, Atlus had to use every technique except for speaking. His design, his body language, and the fact that the entire OST is diegetically playing through his headphones all comes to form his character. His silence comes to define him as a character who is constantly sitting with his thoughts of sadness and inner solitude. Makoto Yuki's writing is the absolute embodiment of less is more, and is proof not all silent protagonists are bad writing. While every other character has endless amounts of things to say, Makoto keeps relatively quiet. This helps define Makoto as different from everyone else in his solitude, and feeling like you don't belong with everyone else is a part of feeling lonely. The reason Makoto Yuki and men like him in real life suffer so greatly is because of silence. This is not entirely their own decision, however, as men are repeatedly antagonized by society for feeling this way. Even self-proclaimed social progressives will jabber on about how men's loneliness isn't a real problem, dude. They just need to toughen up through it, to muscle up and never cause anyone else the ick. In a world where people who actually go out there and give a shit, instead of just complaining about issues on Twitter, are few and far between, people can be around others and still feel confined within their own universe. This leads to our next subject. Solitude and loneliness are connected but different. You could live in solitude but not feel alone, but you could be around people each day but still feel unaccompanied in a storm of faceless entities. In the early game of Persona 3, Makoto is a perfect example of this phenomena. Sure, Makoto lives around other people, but they rarely ever get along that well. They're just around each other. The only thing that keeps them together is hunting shadows, and as soon as they stop attacking, they'll never think about each other ever again. Even months after meeting, they bicker and argue because no one there truly understands each other. They're all together, but apart is the best way that I could describe it, especially Makoto. And once he gets home in the evening, he has basically nothing to do, unlike in the other Persona games where you get much more variety in what you can do during the evening time slot. Could this be just a failure of game design on Atlus's part? Yes, but I don't care. I'm choosing to read this as a ludonarrative device. The boredom and isolation of the evening if you can't go to Tartarus is palpable. Out of every Persona game, this is the one where it's hardest to maintain or max out bonds. Saying the wrong thing can outright reverse your level of friendship with someone. You need a guide to understand what to say to someone if you ever want to finish the social link.
And it is almost impossible to do everything in one playthrough. When you don't do enough social links, you really feel the aura sucked dry from your body as your schedule becomes dead empty, and the gameplay bonuses you get from these events are not received, and you get absolutely rocked by the bosses in your path. Just like how, in our world, it is easier to get demolished by the challenges of life when we don't feel like we have a lot of people on our side. But it for sure doesn't have to stay that way though, for it is not Jover.
Those who are afflicted with the male loneliness epidemic are not doomed to stay this way. Amid Makoto's loneliness, he made the effort of bonding with the people around him. Eventually, he knew that he never ever had to suffer alone, but with the help of others, he made the most of his life. This is another one of the ways that Persona 3 ties story and gameplay. The social link system allows you to grow stronger, the better your bonds are. Sure, the bonds can break and they take a while to grow, but with each life improved with him in it, he grows. Through mutual struggle and openness, Makoto grows with his team, and they feel less like supernatural co-workers tied by circumstance and chance, but like friends. What keeps people apart is division and lack of communication with each other, causing a feeling of separation and isolation. This especially affects young men like our protagonist here, as openness is repeatedly made fun of and antagonized when it comes to young men. May I point to the elites who are intentionally causing this phenomenon through engineering political discourse, division, and lack of communication. But that could serve as a whole other video, so I'll stop it there. One thing that can never be stopped, no matter what any power does, is humanity coming together. We were social creatures from the beginning. Through anything, we come together and break through the loneliness in our way. No matter what, humans shall exist together and conquer fate. Such as when, at the end of the game, the embodiment of death, Nyx, descends to end all mankind. Nyx is being beyond comprehension and is undefeatable through learning to exist together and conquering loneliness. Makoto and his friends rise to the occasion. The final push is made when Makoto is basically already defeated, but then reflects on all the people he met and realizing that no matter what, there will be people out him who love him and just want him to succeed. In real life, remembering this is a helpful tool, as our minds have a negativity bias so strong it could break the universe. All these dudes posting about the male loneliness epidemic need to step back and realize that no matter what, there is someone that wants you to be happy and just wants to see you again. Someone out of the 8 billion that exist on this planet. And even through that, there are more people to find in this earth. With this realization, Nyx is defeated, but not forever. You see, the protagonist sacrifices himself to seal away Nyx, as it can never be defeated forever, just like how, in our world, loneliness can never be defeated eternally, only fought successfully and with help from others. And that is how Persona 3 covered the male loneliness epidemic all the way back in 2006.